Rhetoric. On Instagram, deplorable_rhetoric. And on Twitter, we rant, the number 2, rate.
All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to She's the Boss Radio Network, 24 hours, 7 days a week. Focus on topics to build, strengthen, and inspire, as well as motivate men, women, and youth from the home to the conference room and around our community. I'm Sigourney.
I'm Iran.
And we are Deplorable Rhetoric. Thank you for tuning in. If you want to be a part of the show, you can call 443-272-5922. You can always go to she'sthebossradio.com or listen to us on tunein.com or Shoutcast. Ask Alexa or Siri to play She's the Boss Radio. You can also follow She's the Boss Radio on Facebook, She's the Boss Radio on Twitter, WSTBRN on IG, and WSTBR on Twitch and Tumblr. Okay. So I don't know if it's been a slow news week, but I've been slow this past week.
You went out alone.
Still trying to wake up too, to be honest, even though I've been up for a minute. Anyway, so the only bit of COVID news I really saw and paid attention to is from Bloomberg. New COVID boosters protection waned after 2 months, the study says. And wait, let me see something. Oh, you know what? I think I already talked about this. I did. I did talk about this one already, I believe. Yeah. So we shall move on from that. But there wasn't a lot of stuff happening with Well, this one says from SciTech Daily, new research explains why children avoid severe COVID-19 symptoms. Oh. It's not coming up. Okay.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff.
Well, let's go to CNET. They're working. What's to know about long COVID? So across the world, millions are left with lingering symptoms of COVID-19 infection. Here's what researchers know about the disease and what they don't. So let me get rid of this ad. For many people who started out as a relatively mild case of COVID-19 persisted into a lingering condition that took weeks or months before their suffering subsided. Some are yet to fully recover. They live with long COVID, a condition healthcare providers have struggled to understand and accurately diagnose since the COVID-19 pandemic was declared in March 2020. While it's hard to put a number on what percentage of people will develop long COVID, since home tests and mild cases contribute to inaccurate case counts, right. Somewhere between 10% of people who tested positive for COVID-19 but didn't need to be hospitalized, and 50 to 70% of people who were hospitalized developed some degree of long COVID, according to a major review of long COVID research published earlier this year in Nature Reviews Microbiology. So fortunately, rates of long COVID, also called long haul COVID or post-COVID conditions, may be declining. A Kaiser Family Foundation analysis of data from the CDC found that the number of people who reported COVID-19 symptoms that lasted longer than 3 months currently or in the past declined from 35% in June 2022 to 28% in January 2023. The condition can be mildly bothersome or debilitating, running the gamut of loss of smell, nausea, and constipation to organ damage or life-changing mental or cognitive symptoms. You know what? Maybe that's what's wrong with everybody. Maybe all this life-changing mental cognitive symptoms are causing people to go crazy.
Yeah, I might be on that list.
Yeah, maybe that's why people are out there acting dumb.
Yeah.
So, but we gotta blame it on something.
Right.
Anyway, non-specific symptoms that can easily fall into the category of other health conditions like breathlessness, chronic headaches, and chest pains can make accurately diagnosing long COVID feel like catching a shadow. Despite what researchers are still trying to figure out, including more treatment options, better diagnostic tools, and other factors, healthcare providers and scientists have made headway in their understanding of the condition. Here's a roundabout of what we know today. So, okay, what are the symptoms of long COVID? Blah, 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 blah. So symptoms include health and cardiovascular problems, respiratory issues, immune system effects, neurological symptoms, and even some reproductive issues. So just those few things, nothing
Mm,
major,
right.
just every system in your body. Dr. Nadia Safdar, medical director of infection control at the University of Wisconsin, told CNET in 2021 when scientists were first getting a grip on long COVID that the key to discerning the condition is to pay attention to new symptoms that develop or ones that never go away, starting about 30 days post infection. This separates long COVID from the initial viral infection itself. So while it's not a full list, some lingering symptoms of COVID per the CDC and a review of long COVID research by Nature include, all right, here we go. Difficulty thinking or concentrating, fog brain. I got that.
Mm-hmm.
Difficulty breathing, shortness of breath when I exercise. Fatigue, always. Chest pains, nah. Headache or migraines, no. Fast beating or pounding heart, not
Mm-hmm.
really. Joint or muscle pain, yeah. That's what happens when you get
I
old.
keep saying I'm
My
age.
knees. Pins and needles feeling. Was that anxiety? Or
Yeah.
like actual being like feeling
Yeah,
like because
crawly
people
skin.
also feel like
Mm-hmm.
so I don't know what that means. Nausea, diarrhea, other I always got gas. I'm just joking. Nausea, diarrhea, other
Oh
gastrointestinal
God.
problems. Sleep problems. Well, I
Mm.
like to stay up. I'm a night person. Dizziness upon standing, sometimes, especially when I exercise. Mood changes, such as depression or anxiety.
I ain't
Change
saying a
in
word.
change in sense of smell or taste. Nah. Reproductive symptom problems. I don't
Me.
know. Including changes to the menstrual cycle and erectile dysfunction.
Mm.
So, guys, don't web and be yourself. All right. If
That's
you
the
have
worst
any of
thing.
these, right. If you have any of these, it could still be a number of other things. So, go to your doctor and ask questions. So in 2021, Sofdar said the most common symptoms she saw in her work with patients were symptoms that affected higher executive functioning. See, told you people going crazy. Their functioning is waning.
Yeah.
Um, so concentration, oh God, memory, being able to do your job the way you could before. I might have long COVID.
Right.
Sofdar said these kinds of symptoms are hard for people to describe, but they clearly notice a change from the way they were before.
Mm-hmm.
So in 2023, cognitive impairment and neurological symptoms are still relatively common for those who experience effects post COVID 19. The authors of Nature Review called them a major feature of long COVID, with the meta analysis finding fatigue in 32% of people with COVID 19 after 12 weeks and cognitive impairment in 22%. That's high.
Yeah, it is.
That's a high number. Woo. One set of symptoms of COVID 19 that affect many people sick from earlier variants is the loss of their sense of taste, smell, or both. For some, ageusia, loss of taste, and anosmia, loss of smell, don't just affect how they enjoy their food or a favorite scent, but can meddle with their memories and mental health. So, the typical long COVID patient,
Okay.
well, we're in there. People ages 36 to 50. Uh, okay, my bad. So people ages 36 to 50 were most likely to be diagnosed with long COVID, according to a Fair Health study. The study, which looked at data from more than 28,000 patients from October 2021 through January 2022, also found more diagnoses in women than in men, and that about 30% of people had no prior diagnosis with chronic health condition. Wait, what? And that 30% of people had no prior diagnosis with a Jeez, that means healthy,
Healthy
people.
people. Yeah.
Other factors that may make a person more likely to develop long COVID is being unvaccinated and having underlying health conditions pre-COVID 19, including type 2 diabetes and a past bout with Epstein-Barr virus, the virus that causes mono, according to the Nature Review. So people who need to be hospitalized after contracting COVID 19 are also more likely to develop long COVID. Socioeconomic factors also may make someone more susceptible, as having a lower income and being unable to take off work to rest increases the risk of long COVID. I'm not going to get off on a soapbox on that. Anyway, in short, there is no typical patient, okay, after all that, with long COVID, since people with more mild cases can and do develop the condition, as do children. In children, those who have attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, or ADHD to some people, chronic urticaria, and okay, I should know this word. allergic
Oh God.
rhinitis, that's allergic reactions, including hives and seasonal allergies, may be more likely to develop long COVID. The various conditions or factors that seem to increase someone's chances of developing long COVID highlight the complexity of the disorder and the different ways it interacts with the immune system and brain and its varying causes. So, causes of long COVID. The author of Nature Review said that there are likely multiple potentially overlapping causes of long COVID. Some of these mechanisms they conclude include viral persistence, the virus staying with the body's tissue, neuroinflammation, excessive blood clotting, and autoimmunity or disruptions to immune response. Dr. Devang Sanghavi, a critical care physician with the Mayo Clinic, told CNET in August 2022 that there are a few broad ways to consider the different causes of long COVID. People with severe enough afflictions that they develop organ or cell damage, people who are hospitalized and have lingering health effects from that hospitalization, and people who weren't hospitalized but developed symptoms as a response to the virus. The last group in particular has been the focus of research into how some people's immune systems respond or even over respond to the virus. The different causes and mechanisms of lingering symptoms and health effects illustrate the complexity of COVID 19 and its ability as a respiratory virus to create lasting impacts on other parts of the body. So apparently there's no long COVID test. So according to the CDC, there's no single test that can determine whether or not you have long COVID. That sucks because I was like, maybe I should try to get tested for that. Well, can't. Instead, a healthcare provider looks at your health history, including if, when, and the likelihood you had COVID based on a positive test result, your symptoms or exposure history, and when symptoms of long COVID began. As far as I know, I haven't had COVID, but that's just as far as I know. It's possible because some of these later variants seem like colds, and I have had what I took to be a cold because I took cold medicine and it went away, so I assume it was just a cold. But who knows? But I haven't had any of these symptoms, these long COVID symptoms either. So I don't know. This lack of any sort of definitive marker makes a long COVID diagnosis even more frustrating for people suffering. And while healthcare providers are more aware of its presence this year than earlier in the pandemic, blood work or other routine tests may turn up normal in patients with COVID 19, requiring them to do their own advocacy to get the treatment they need. One message that I would like to send out to these patients is that their symptoms are real, Sanghavi said of the difficulties of living with, diagnosing, and treating long COVID. We may not have answers right now about why and how and what we can do to help them, but they should not be struggling and suffering alone. So then it gets into treatment. So we'll talk about that in the last couple minutes and prevention. But so treatment. So because it's so broad, there is no blanket treatment. Instead, treatment for long haul COVID, according to Johns Hopkins Medicine, will likely involve doctors working to address your symptoms, which is what doctors are doing anyway. Therapy will develop on your symptoms, and various breathing exercises, physical therapy, or medications may be prescribed per Johns Hopkins. I love how it's just the whole hospital. The whole hospital said this. Johnny Hopkins. So because the symptoms of long COVID can overlap so evenly with symptoms of chronic fatigue syndrome, another disabling and lasting health condition. Strategies used for the chronic fatigue syndrome patients may also work for long COVID patients. No, I don't. So trials on the effects of different drugs for treating long COVID, including anti-inflammatory and anti-clotting medications and antihistamines, have also been started. Depending on your symptoms and health history, your doctor may recommend a specific medication. So I'm going to skip down. So researchers know that having a severe case of COVID-19 can make it more likely for a person to experience long COVID, and that vaccines reduce the risk of severe disease. While research is ongoing, Johns Hopkins Medicine says it is likely that being vaccinated reduces the risk of long COVID, but research on how vaccines impact the symptoms of people who already have long COVID is unclear. One smaller study found that a little more than 16% of people experience a relief of long COVID symptoms post-vaccine, but about 21% actually experienced a worsening of their symptoms. Most didn't experience a change. And because COVID-19 is still around, reports of people getting reinfected with COVID-19 a second, third, or even fourth time, Anna Navarro, I think, has been hit like 4 times, are becoming more common. So, whatever at this point. Get vaccinated, wash your hands, all the same stuff, blah, 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 blah. All right, we're going to break. We'll be right back.
We don't break the laws. We just make up our own. The internet's best choice for music. She She's the boss. Boss Radio Network.
Hey, I'm Jenny James for Neatly Done Carpet Cleaner. You've probably been home a lot more. Maybe you have kids like me who spill all the time, and you've noticed that your carpet's not looking so good. Why don't you call Neatly Done Carpet Cleaner? They use a dry extraction service, so you won't have wet carpet all day long, and you can get back to doing the things you love with your family immediately. And it's a way to make your room healthier while improving your indoor air quality. You can do tile, slate, granite, ceramic, area rugs, and yes, they're pet friendly too. Why don't you get a free, no obligation estimate today? NeatlyDoneSanAntonio.com.
Yeah, that's the sound of today's business community. It's a dog-eat-dog world and only the strong survive. The challenge is navigating the ever-changing business environment to put your business in the forefront. So how does your business keep up with the changes? That's where She's the Boss Network comes in. She's the Boss Network is an internet media network that's been helping businesses like yours get the exposure that you're looking for at reasonable cost by way of radio and video. They'll help you stay successful by navigating change and seeing the big picture. After She's the Boss Network analyzes your business and marketing strategies, you'll start to see a media presence like you've never seen in your business before. And She's the Boss Network doesn't stop there. They use their findings to create a practical plan of action, a plan that will get your business from where you are to where you need to be. There you go. Lock those dogs up for good by giving She's the Boss Network a call at 866-494-5945, extension 101, or by checking their website at she'sthebossradio.com. Again, that's 866-494-5945, extension 101, or she'sthebossradio.com.
You could listen to one of those other stations, but what would your friends think? You could listen to one of those other stations, but what would your friends think? She's the boss. Boss Radio Network.
That's what I was trying to get you to tell me.
Oh,
Go ahead.
okay. So give me a second. My brain is just all over the place. So I wanted to talk about the chief of staff of former Governor Larry Hogan. And he's already skipped federal fraud trial. So Roy McGrath is his name. The manhunt is on the way. The one-time chief of staff of former Maryland Governor Larry Hogan failed to appear for his federal court trial in Baltimore that was scheduled to begin March the 13th at 9 a.m. An arrest warrant has been issued. McGrath lives in Florida, and law enforcement agents in Collier County, Florida, conducted a welfare check at McGrath's house just before 10:30 a.m., but he was not there. Baltimore and Maryland's Washington, D.C. agents with U.S. Marshal Services are assisting with the execution of the arrest warrant. Joseph Murtha said that as McGrath's attorney, he spoke to McGrath on Sunday afternoon and was not under any impression there were any issues, noting the two were scheduled to meet at 8:45 a.m. on Monday morning before the trial. Martha said that the McGrath was scheduled to fly from Florida to Baltimore on Sunday, but was unsure if he boarded the flight. I hope he's safe. I know these situations are stressful and uncertain of going to trial can cause people to do things that we don't believe are appropriate. I hope he's safe. McGrath's federal indictment included 8 different counts, including wire fraud, embezzlement, and allegations of falsifying government documents. McGrath is accused of receiving a severance payment worth 1 year of his salary of his previous position. What was his salary, you ask? $233,648 a year.
Why his previous position if he's not there anymore?
Oh, he's not chief of staff anymore because Hogan is not there.
I know, know. So I'm like, why did he get? So he got that when he was still.
When he was chief of
So,
staff
yeah, oh, okay.
of Larry
The
Hogan.
way I was hearing it, like he had already left, or didn't have the position, but
He
still
doesn't.
got that. You know that.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
saying
that's
when
his
he got the
severance.
money,
Yeah, it's his severance pay.
it sounded like he got it after the.
No, they said that he got a severance. He received a severance payment worth 1 year of his salary of his previous position.
No, never mind. Just the way I heard it.
Oh,
I
okay.
heard something different. Don't worry about it.
Okay. McGrath also is accused of failure to take vacation time while traveling to Florida and European cruise. The falsifying documents charge stems from allegations that Hogan knew about McGrath's severance payment from the MES before moving to the governor's office. Okay, so his previous before he came to the governor's office, this is 233,000 plus. Adding that Hogan signed off on the agreement. McGrath's attorney told U.S. District Judge Deborah Boardman he was unable to get in touch with the client, adding that McGrath did not respond to calls or test judge. Boardman dismissed the jury, and been assembled ahead of schedule for a 2-week trial around 11 a.m. It was supposed to start at 9. I have no idea where he is. I hope he's safe, and I hope to speak to him very soon, his attorney said. As a condition of McGrath's pretrial release, he was required to surrender his passport. He was supposed to. If arrested, McGrath will be brought back to Baltimore for trial. Currently, the trial is delayed. So my question to you is this: do you think Hogan should be also held to account for signing off of for a severance payout that's he's being accused of, and also it's part of his charge?
I don't know enough about all that legal stuff to really have an answer, but I don't know.
But I mean, that's the whole thing, is that these people are in high positions, and
I mean, if it was something that he was already supposed to get, I mean, don't you sign up for all that stuff when you sign up for the job?
but nobody else should be signing off on your severance. Your severance is part of your, you know how you get sick and vacation time and that is part of the whole package, dental, vision, whatever. It's all part of the package. In some companies, when you have sick and vacation times, they let you cash out the vacation time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you can use the sick time and use it's comp time, basically. So you could use that to just cash out. I know several state and federal places you can actually cash out of your vacation time. So on top of the whatever that you get at the end of your employment, you get severance. Okay, like a pension, you get a severance. You get your severance, and you can add on your vacation time, calculate it, how many hours times how many hours, how much you get paid per hour. And if it's salary, you got to break it down to the hours so you can know exactly how much your vacation time is costing. So I think they utilize, I'm not going to even hold Hogan accountable. He just signed off on it.
Yeah.
But he was part of that whole thing, whereas though, you remember,
Where was that article
Newsbreak. It's on Twitter.
Oh.
I put it on Twitter as well.
The same one I'm already looking at on Newsbreak. It's the only one I've seen.
Yeah.
I was wanting the specific one. The W.
Yeah, it's supposed to be Fox 45 News.
Oh yeah, I see mine's different.
Okay, and that's the thing. I just clicked on the attachment. But he was also part of the text messages that they were looking for from Hogan. And come to find out, it was McGrath the whole time that was talking to people at the White House and January 6th and other Republican governors and whatever in 2020. So my question is, at this point, do you think he might have committed suicide? Somewhere in the woods in Florida, might have walked into one of them little alligators, probably came and got him. He's from Florida. That explains a lot.
I don't know. I don't know what he did, but it wouldn't surprise me. A lot of these people don't want to go to jail. Like, there was a guy who cops were about to bust into his place, and then they heard a gunshot, and he killed himself right before they busted in. Because seems to me he killed his roommate. He'd been living with that dead corpse for months. So
Oh my!
I guess they finally found out, went in there, and he killed himself. So I don't know. McGrath could have done the same thing and just decided to end it before
The embarrassment of it all.
before, yeah.
I mean,
he's already brought it on himself. You know,
Yeah,
at this
you're
point,
talking
he
about
just won't have to deal
embezzlement
with
and
the
all of that.
aftermath of it.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to go to jail. That's what it is.
Who does?
So
But you know,
he's gonna just kill himself instead, I guess. I mean, you do the crime, you gotta do the time, man.
but that's the thing.
way it
These are
goes.
people that, if they can't actually change laws or enforce laws to hold people accountable, they are part of the circle that creates these laws. But they're the most corrupt ones. Like, there is no way you can tell me that every Democrat and Republican and independent, conservative, liberal, whatever it is doing the work that their constituents sent them to do. There is none of them. And if you do find one, I'll stop drinking. It's
Yeah,
crazy to me. It's unfair. Just like what's the guy's name? The mayor from Montgomery County that had the porn stash. You sent it to me. It was the mayor of PG County. He was caught with over 40 counts of child pornography. Yeah. So you mean to tell me he's been the mayor in PG and any mayor? I've always said that everybody needs to be held accountable, and I hold myself accountable too. Like, I should be checking to see what my representative is doing. If I still have a problem, like, why you walked around here, knocked on doors, asked for my vote. I probably didn't give it to you, but you know what I'm saying? You asked for a vote.
Please ask for it.
Yeah, you asked for it and told me all this great things that you were going to do. And 9 times out of 10, I already knew you weren't going to do it. The most virtuous person goes in that position, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, ready to work. When they realize how corrupt the system is, and just to move with the crowd, you don't want to stand against the raging waters of business as usual, because you get swept away in it. And that's what happens to most politicians that everybody considers to be righteous or feel like they are going to listen to me. I trust them. Nah, no politician. Sorry. I can't.
Right.
When Big Pharma comes with them millions of dollars, you're like,
Right.
we'll take that.
Corruptible.
Yeah.
And speaking of corruptible pieces of crap politicians, so on Twitter, D.L. Hughley put up a little, whatever, like a screenshot, I guess. So apparently, and it says today, but I don't know. There's no actual date on this thing, so I don't know when. But today, Bill HB 999 will be proposed by Governor DeSantis, and obviously speaking of Florida. If the bill passes May 5th, the following will be removed from Florida's college campuses. NPHC organizations, which is Alpha Phi Alpha, Alpha Kappa Alpha, blah, 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 blah,
Historically black.
NMGC, and Latinx organizations, Lambda Psi Alpha, Alpha Psi Lambda, so on and so forth. Jewish study courses, majors and minors. Feminist theories courses, majors and minors. General studies courses, majors and minors. Centers and programs for Black students. Centers and programs for Latinx students. Centers and programs for Asian and AAPI students, which is Pacific Islanders. Center and programs for LGBTQ students. Tenured faculty will be eligible for review. Their tenure will be reconsidered by the Board of Trustees, who will be chosen and appointed by the governor. And so they're like, yeah, you can spread the word. If you're Greek, tell your brothers and sisters, contact your Florida House representatives, encourage students to plan. So, y'all, these are the politicians that we have to deal with. We have to go to break, but we'll be right back.
I need to sit around.
We don't break the laws. We just make up our own. The internet's best choice for music. She's the boss. Radio Network.
Beauty's in the eye. We complicate things when all along it's just perfect as it is. Beauty is from within. It's how you feel, not as how others see you. Skincare shouldn't be complicated. She's the Boss believes skincare should be nurturing, easy to use, smell delicious, feel refreshing, and look incredible. She's the Boss Cosmetics and Skincare brings you our botanical-based skincare line that's gentle, uncomplicated, and extremely effective for men, women, and youth. Feel confident and radiate a power glow that flows from the inside out. Exude an assurance that extends from the home into the conference room. Visit us at www.shes-the-boss.com or call us at 866-494-5945 to get yours today.
Bored with the traditional wedding, birthday, or special occasion celebrations? Do you feel like you just don't want all of the pressure of coordinating your own event? Do your friends all seem to become professional event planners for your memorable moments? Are you thinking of getting engaged and want a romantic way of doing it? Let us design it for you. Pictures are worth 1,000 words. Let our photographers help you to make a statement. Want to make an impression with a beautiful arrangement? Speak with our floral designers. Zeal Enterprises, an all-inclusive event management company that provides complete consulting and coordinating services for weddings, anniversaries, reunions, theme and birthday parties, festivals, conventions, and conferences. Our team of professionals are excited to work with you. Call today, 866-494-5945, or go online to www.zealbnr.com to begin designing your event. Remember, in everything you do, do it with zeal.
You could listen to one of those other stations, but what would your friends think? You could listen to one of those other stations, but what would your friends think? She's the boss. Radio Network.
All right, y'all. More news. So let's go to something else that's always fun to talk about.
Oh, God.
The border. So USA Today. Border standoff. U.S. officials in riot gear clash with migrants attempting mass entry into Texas. All right, so this is El Paso, Texas. A standoff between hundreds of migrants and U.S. Customs and Border Protection officers in riot gear Sunday afternoon blocked the Paso del Norte, international bridge connecting El Paso and the Mexican border city Juarez. There were also temporary disruptions when groups of migrants showed up at two other border bridges in El Paso. So I'm already going to stop myself and say I feel like both sides, Democrats and Republicans, are in agreement that there needs to be reform to immigration. Yes, I know that looks different for both sides. But my thing is, neither one of them are actually trying to make an effort to make any changes, it seems to me. So I don't know what their plan is. Even if the Republicans get to build their wall, how does that still fix the immigration problem that we have here? It doesn't. Because this little thing that I watched, this guy went down, I think it was in New Mexico, I believe, and he was talking to actually a sheriff, because legally Border Patrol couldn't talk to him and be filmed and everything, but the sheriff apparently could spill all. So he was down there talking to the sheriff, and I mean, not a whole lot was going on. Not a lot of people were trying to cross over while he was down there. But it was interesting just to see what they do. I mean, there was a group of diplomats from India who were trying to cross from Mexico into the U.S., which I thought was interesting. Not diplomats, but they were, I think nationals came up, something. But I was just like, for one, I thought it was weird that they had to go in that way. But they were from India, which, they say, I mean, it's not just people from Mexico coming in through that route. They say it's a lot of Europeans, Eastern Europeans and stuff like that. And they even touched on, again, that a lot of immigrants that are in the U.S. are visa, people who visas have expired. They just stay because who's checking up on them? You know what I mean? And that's neither here nor there. My thing is like, if you're going to stay, okay, whatever, just, do what you got to do to be legal. Um, because if not, you'll get thrown out if they catch you. I guess.
Right.
But
What's
not
that
everybody
movie?
gets caught. But a lot of
Catch
them,
Me If You Can kind of
right.
thing.
But a lot of them focus on Hispanics and people from the in Latin countries anyway. They're not even looking at Eastern Europeans or people
No,
from other
because
parts of the
those are the
world.
good ones.
Apparently, yeah. Apparently so. But excuse me, but there were also temporary disruptions when groups of migrants showed up at the two other border bridges. In El Paso, a border protection spokesman said in a statement, barricades were used at the Stanton Bridge from 2 p.m. to 2:45 p.m. and at the Bridge of the Americas from 2:45 p.m. until 3:30 p.m. Sunday. At the El Paso del Norte Bridge, officers stood behind concrete and plastic barriers topped with barbed wire, blocking the border at the middle of the top of the bridge before what appeared to be hundreds of migrants. So about 1:30 p.m., the Border Protection Agency's mobile field force, a riot control team, was deployed when a large group of migrants threatened to make a mass entry. I mean, I understand your need for wanting to get in the country, but that's really not the way to go. Um, that's only going to make America crazy because America's already crazy. So the Border Patrol is just going to go nuts. A special response team and U.S. Border Patrol agents assisted Border Protection officers by 5:30 p.m. So we're talking about 4 hours later. Most of the crowd had returned to Mexico, but the bridge remained closed to vehicle traffic as pedestrians could be seen walking to the port of entry. Mexican National Guard troops stood watch on the southern side of the border. By 6:30 p.m., the bridge had reopened to vehicles. So in 5 hours, they shut all that down, told them people go back home. So why did the rush happen? The migrants, who were of various nationalities, but mainly Venezuelan, were demanding entry into the U.S. amid rumors that the border would be open for express asylum.
Yeah.
The Norte Digit news website reported from Juarez. Some of the migrants could be heard on videos during the bridge rush saying Custom and Border Protection's online asylum application launched this year and was not working properly.
Yeah, because they crashed it. Too many people.
That was like when Trump got elected and everybody's trying to get into Canada and crash them.
Yeah. Canada had to
Canada's
say,
probably
please
like,
don't come.
we don't want
Please
y'all.
don't come.
But they
Yeah.
got their own issues up there, so
Yeah.
might as well just stay down here and just rot.
Yeah. Same problems,
But,
different scenery.
right.
That's all it is.
Crowds of migrants had been gathering at the Mexican foot of the bridge since the morning before the tidal wave of people ran to the border at the top of the bridge. Similar standoffs have occurred in recent years on the Paso del Norte Bridge as groups of migrants hoping for asylum try to enter the United States, usually spurred by false rumors that the border will be opened to them.
And this is my thing. A lot of people are like, "Oh, Trump would have been stronger." Same stuff, different administration.
He was there for 4 years too, and they do nothing.
Right.
So,
and it was one guy who actually was at the border, and he was like, "Look, you see this wall? Such a long wall, strong wall." And then he panned his camera over to his other side, and he was like, "Yeah, this is where it ends.
yeah,
All this is open."
yeah.
And they
There's
got
not
to
much
think
there.
there's mountains, there's peaks, there's rivers, there's valleys. It's like they want to wrap a fence around the U.S.
Yeah.
except the north part.
Yeah, because even in that video I'd seen, you saw like ladders and stuff, and the sheriff was even saying like, yeah, they'll use different things to like climb over the wall. There was one part of the wall like, it was like this reddish color, this metal piece. I guess they had cut some of it out, but you see where they, on the U.S. side, I guess try to plaster it back up or whatever. It's just like, so obviously it's very easy for them to get through, and there's hundreds of
They're
miles.
handy.
Yeah, there's hundreds of miles where they can get through at certain points. Now there were certain things set up to where they kind of would have to congregate to one part and try to get through, which makes it easier for like border patrol or whatever to come get them. But still, there's a lot of parts where there is no fence or whatever, and so they
Where it's
are
just a
able
fence, like
right,
neighbors.
they can just run over like
Right.
they're doing the hurdles, just
Right,
over.
right.
But unfortunately, there were also stories of people not making it. You know, older people who couldn't make the trek and ended up dying and stuff like that. So it does suck. But they're trying to come for a better life. But again, I'm for whoever coming into the country, but you just got to do what you got to do to make sure you're coming in the proper way.
But
And
we
it's tough.
we, we well, I'm not going to say we, but politicians need to stop with this. They're all illegals. Just because they weren't born and raised here doesn't make them illegals. And the correct way to come to this country is you get here, you ask for asylum.
Right, which is what they're doing.
Right. And people are still calling them
Yeah.
illegal immigrants. No, they're visa holders. I don't care what country they come from. They're visa holders or they've asked for asylum. That's how the process is. It's not broken. It's just under manned.
Yeah, like most things.
Yeah.
And that's the crazy part. All these people need jobs. Go down there and do your job. Go do something.
Well, unemployment is going up and up and up. So let's see.
Yeah. People are going back to, I don't know, not wanting to work, I guess, or just.
I
wanting
told
to
you,
collect
it's like
unemployment.
we try to hire people, do the interview and all that. To me, I get frustrated because I'm like, you just wasted my time sitting here waiting for you to get on a Zoom call so I can interview for a job you applied for.
All right.
I didn't come seeking you.
Yeah.
I asked who wants a job.
Well, in a way that, you didn't seek them specifically,
Yeah.
but you did seek them, yeah.
Yeah, I seeked for a
But,
therapist.
I mean, that's why I always say, people, all you gotta do is say, like, I know we have an interview tomorrow, whatever it is, but I accept another position, thanks. Just so I can be like,
Respect.
okay, I'm gonna take you off my schedule. I can fill that with something else. So,
Most-
and vice versa, because I've been on the other end where you're waiting to hear from companies, and they're just, they just leave you in limbo.
That would be me.
Yeah,
'Cause I
so
forget.
It sucks.
I
'Cause,
gotta
you're
write
sitting
things.
there waiting to hear from something, trying not to get your hopes up, but it is what it is, I guess. But yeah, I mean, it's just a huge problem, and the thing is, it doesn't seem like anybody in government wants to fix it. It's just a lot of talking. It's a lot of rhetoric. It's just
Right.
a lot of, oh, we got to do this. Well, no, we have to do it this way. We can't do it that way. That doesn't make sense. Well, none of it makes sense because nothing's getting done.
Mhm.
And things just keep piling up and piling up. And that's just the way it seems to be with America. Because even when you're looking at trying to get people housing here
Yeah.
for through the state, it's like the waiting list is 10 years. And it's like, okay, I understand Baltimore has a pretty big population, but there's no way that it should be 10 years.
Girl,
Then
it's
y'all
longer
have
than
to
that.
keep shutting it down every once in a while. Last I heard was 10. So you keep shutting it down every once in a while to try and catch up, but you're not.
But the thing is that
So-
their open time for applications, I believe 2022 was 31 days, period. They were taking applications for that time, but they didn't even announce it to where people would know.
I don't know why, because again, you're still backed up. Fix
Yeah.
that first.
Right.
So-
So I don't see it being like a vast amount of applications coming in because you whispered it and you were like,
Right. Well, my thing is they didn't need to do it at all. You shouldn't have even opened it for 30 days. Once you fix the problems you got in front of you, because you're just adding more problems on top of the problems. So you guys are still backed up, still undermanned, and that could bring down morale for people. So if they're sitting there and they're like looking at a stack of papers, you really think they're gonna want to jump on that and like get it done? No. So now their morale is low and they're not gonna work as hard or whatever.
and things fall through the cracks.
Yeah, because the couple people that I just so happened to end up working with that finally got their housing, it was 10 years for them, and I was like, well, that's what I hear the waiting list is, and that was at least a year or two ago. So maybe it's worse, maybe it's better, I don't know, but it's been 10 years for a long time, so I'll just keep saying 10 years.
Yeah.
But it sucks because people are waiting and waiting, and it's just a lot of people that need housing. And again, with Baltimore City owning 10% of abandoned homes here, what is your guys' deal? Why is it that you guys can't go ahead, grab up the houses that y'all claim to already own or whatever, have ownership of, and fix them up? Even if you don't end up giving them to low-income people, fix them up to help fix up your city. Make it look a little better. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got trash in the streets, you got trash. The abandoned houses are trash because they're like
Exactly.
burnt.
What
or
was
they're
it? Didn't
missing part
one
of a
building
wall.
fall? No,
Yeah.
been a couple of buildings that
Yeah.
fell.
Because the structure is just not sound.
Yeah,
But
one of them, a guy was walking past it, and the facade, the front part of it, fell on him.
Oh, the only one I know that fell is when the cars ran into that building. But all right, we have to go to break. We'll be right back.
You could listen to one of those other stations, but what would your friends think? You could listen to one of those other stations, but what would your friends think? She's the boss. Radio Network.
Yeah, that's the sound of today's business community. It's a dog-eat-dog world and only the strong survive. The challenge is navigating the ever-changing business environment to put your business in the forefront. So how does your business keep up with the changes? That's where She's the Boss Network comes in. She's the Boss Network is an internet media network that's been helping businesses like yours get the exposure that you're looking for at reasonable cost by way of radio and video. They'll help you stay successful by navigating change and seeing the big picture. After She's the Boss Network analyzes your business and marketing strategies, you'll start to see a media presence like you've never seen in your business before. And She's the Boss Network doesn't stop there. They use their findings to create a practical plan of action, a plan that will get your business from where you are to where you need to be. There you go. Lock those dogs up for good by giving She's the Boss Network a call at 866-494-5945, extension 101, or by checking their website at she'sthebossradio.com. Again, that's 866-494-5945, extension 101, or she'sthebossradio.com.
Hey, I'm Jenny James for Neatly Done Carpet Cleaner. You've probably been home a lot more. Maybe you have kids like me who spill all the time, and you've noticed that your carpet's not looking so good. Why don't you call Neatly Done Carpet Cleaner? They use a dry extraction service, so you won't have wet carpet all day long, and you can get back to doing the things you love with your family immediately. And it's a way to make your room healthier while improving your indoor air quality. You can do tile, slate, granite, ceramic, area rugs, and yes, they're pet friendly too. Why don't you get a free, no obligation estimate today? NeatlyDoneSanAntonio.com.
We don't break the laws. We just make up our own. The internet's best choice for music. She's the boss. Radio Network.
All right. So we haven't talked about Trump, January 6th, Marjorie Taylor Greene, any of them in a while. But here it goes. So, Raw story. One of the faves, Raw story. So definitely stupid. GOP lawmakers at war with each other over defending January 6th rioters. So yes, we're still talking about January 6th and all of the craziness that happened on that day. So attempts by some Republican lawmakers to dismiss the actions of supporters of Donald Trump after they stormed the Capitol on January 6th are causing a rift within the GOP. This has actually been kind of fun to watch. I tune in a little bit because there's a lot of infighting within the Republicans, not just even around January 6th. But for example, DeSantis and Trump, because they're both running. Well, DeSantis hasn't said he's running, but I think he is. But anyway, they go back and forth. You know, Trump has his little nicknames and stuff for people, so that's always fun. But anyway, so, causing a rift within the GOP, leading some lawmakers to call out their colleagues to the press. So led by Representatives Marjorie Taylor Greene, Paul Gosar, and House Oversight Chair James Comer, with the controversial Greene and Comer planning to visit some of the accused rioters in jail as they await their trial dates. The Guardian is reporting that some GOP lawmakers are worried that the defenders of accused rioters will continue to haunt the party, with some far-right lawmakers taking their lead from Fox News, of course.
Yeah.
Personality Tucker Carlson and who, by the way, has all these texts that have been floating out there of stuff that he has said between him, Hannity, and Ingram about Trump. What did he call him? A demonic force. He called Trump a demonic force. Says he does not like him. All these things. While you sat there and supported and promoted and pushed all this January 6th crap, having all these crazy people on your show to talk about this, and you're just like, I can't believe it. Yeah, these were people. And then when you got the 40,000 plus hours of footage, you show the stupidest clips of people just walking around taking selfies. These are tourists. They're not doing anything wrong. Okay.
The CCTV footage says a totally whole different.
Like, you can show whatever you want to show, Tucker.
Not only that, the
but-
people that were there January 6th, they took
Yeah.
footage, so we've already seen.
Exactly. Like, how long ago? And just because you now have this, and it's also because his base, the
It's
people who
stupid.
watch his show, I mean, besides that, don't really go anywhere else for news. So he knows that there's going to be a core group of people that are really only going to see. Now, I'm sure majority of these people had to see other stuff, even if it was just scrolling through their Twitters. Because I mean, I can scroll through my Twitter and some conservative people will pop up. I don't follow them, but
Yeah.
that's the way the
But
algorithm
I'm gonna stop
is.
and read it. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the way the algorithm is. You see this video and you're gonna be like, "What is that?" And you're gonna see it. So I do believe most of these people have seen this, but they choose to believe what they want. So anyway, where am I at? The Guardian is reporting that some GOP lawmakers are worried that the defenders of accused rioters will continue to haunt the party, blah, blah, with some far right lawmakers taking their lead from Fox News' Tucker Carlson and trying to paint the Capitol invaders as tourists who just wandered in through the open doors. Some of their colleagues are calling them out publicly. Were you trying to say something? Oh, I thought you were trying to get my attention. Senator Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, who is hospitalized.
No, I thought he was released.
Oh, is he? Okay,
Yeah,
well.
he might be going to a hospital soon. So, I thought he was already dead. His lips are blue. Well,
Yeah,
whatever
they
you
stay
call
blue.
the little lines, covering his mouth, his teeth.
Yeah.
Those things, they're blue. They've been blue. I thought
They
he was.
have been. Yeah, I don't know.
He's
I
weird.
don't know. So anyway, McConnell told reporters it was a mistake, in my view, for Fox News to depict this in a way. And I was kind of surprised at this, but he is one of those kind of old school Republicans. Like, he'll do dirt, but he ain't really trying to be public about it. Like January 6th, like he'll do undercover dirt.
Right.
Like voting against some immigration stuff, even though your wife's an immigrant, but whatever. I think, isn't she an immigrant or no? Was she
Which
born
one?
here?
Which one?
His
McConnell.
wife, yeah.
Yeah, she's
Yeah, okay.
Asian.
So, yeah, that's why I was like,
I couldn't remember where exactly. I think she might be Chinese.
I think she is. Well, yeah, I'm not sure actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just thought that was weird. You're gonna vote again. Okay. But it was a mistake in my view for Fox News to depict this in a way that's completely at variance with our chief law enforcement officer here at the what our chief law enforcement officer here at the Capitol thinks, while his Senate colleague Tom Tillis summed up the narrative of innocents being persecuted by the DOJ as bullshit. Senator Mitt Romney, who chipped in with, it's a very dangerous thing to do to suggest that attacking the Capitol of the United States is in any way acceptable and it's anything other than a serious crime against democracy and against our country, before concluding, but trying to normalize that behavior is dangerous and disgusting. And I think he's right on those points.
Wow.
I mean,
I felt like Romney has always been an even keel person.
yeah.
I
I liked when he yelled at Santos. Did
yeah,
you ever
I'm
see
talking
that
about,
clip?
yeah, I'm talking about even before.
No, I'm
he's
just saying, I
he's
liked when he did
always
that.
he's always been the one that, I don't know if it's because of his religious beliefs or how he's been, how he
Yeah, the ACA was his idea, not Obama.
yeah.
Even
But he
though
pushed it
Obama
through
got
because
stuck on that,
yeah,
that name.
but he couldn't push it through, so he let the
Right.
token do it, and he pushed
Right.
it through. I'm sorry to call Obama. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Sorry.
Well, I mean, he's token only because that's how they treated him. He is the token
Yeah.
black president because that's how they treated him. It's not like he chose that. But according to the Guardian's Sam Levine, House Speaker Kevin McCarthy's decision to provide Carlson with thousands of hours of footage of the Capitol attack has widened the inter-party divide. One member of his caucus, Representative Dan Crenshaw, bluntly stated, "It's definitely stupid to keep talking about this." I mean, it's not.
It's just like this is what I don't like about our government. It's like history. Don't like the part where certain demographic is looked at as assholes.
Yeah.
And they would be hated if everybody knew the truth about our history. So what they do is every time they mess up and it's constantly in the news, they want to divert it. So and then they're like, okay, don't talk about that anymore. It's past. Let it stay in the past. It's going to come to light.
Right, because I mean, everybody in the world keeps track of history. Your countries and other countries. So just because America wants to whitewash their history doesn't mean other countries don't know what's going All right, so just to wrap this up really quick, he added, I don't really have a problem with making it public, but if your message is then to try and convince people that nothing bad happened, that's just, well, that part I agree with. I think keep talking about it as far as like the trial and do what you have to do there. But yeah, all the other rhetoric stuff is, whatever.
I
It's
mean,
pointless
Trump
at this
is
point.
bragging at the fact that he wasn't.
Yeah, he's an idiot though.
Well, he was subpoenaed and he didn't go. What are the consequences? Like, I'm
Right.
still free. What are you talking about?
God, I don't
Because of the
locked up,
corrupt
but-
FBI.
Right. Everybody's corrupt to him though. But
The
anyway,
corruptest thing in the
thank
world.
you everybody for listening into the show. Listening into She's the Boss Radio Network, which is 24 hours, 7 days a week. You can always go to she'sthebossradio.com to find out more about us, Deplorable Rhetoric, and other shows on the network. You can go to tunein.com or Shoutcast if you want to watch the shows. Tell Alexa or Siri to play She's the Boss Radio. Also follow She's the Boss Radio on Facebook, She's the Boss Radio on Twitter, WSTBRN on IG, and WSTBR on Twitch and Tumblr. And go ahead and hit notifications, whatever you got to do so you can get the live shows. And you can follow Deplorable Rhetoric on Facebook, Deplorable_Rhetoric on Instagram, and We Rant to Rave, the number 2, on Twitter. Talk at y'all next week.
We don't break the laws. We just make up our own. The internet's best choice for music. She's the boss. Radio